Welcome to Beauty Business Matters. I'm your host, Susan Routledge, and we are here with Vicky Ross. And Vicky has already done some episodes, so after this episode, I would say go back and watch the other ones because they're all real gems. But what we're going to be talking about today is sort of a little bit of the mystery of manifesting. Anyone who knows me knows that that is everything the way I create and live my life, everything I do, it's all around manifesting. But every single person is manifesting all the time. And this is what we're going to be talking about because sometimes it's the good and the bad of manifesting. And it's one of those things you get what you wish for. So Vicky, this is really, really exciting because obviously you are all into like making the sense of the nonsense. Yeah. And that human shift. I think I did a good description there.
Short and sweet.
Right, you elaborate on that, Vicky. So first of all, welcome.
Thank you. And thank you. It's so lovely to be back here again. Yeah, I think it's like almost a year, so it's really nice to be back. Right, so today we're talking about manifesting, which is one of my favourite topics as well.
We could talk for hours.
No. So it was a good idea for us to have this today. Now, let's start with the whole concept that the word itself, manifesting, is so misunderstood because a lot of people think it's woo-woo. A lot of people think it's not real, it's not true. Then you get people that kind of go, well, I don't believe in manifesting per se, but I will take responsibility for my life. And I know that if things are going to happen, it's down to me. So again, we see so much of that, what is manifesting, and it's misunderstood. And the other thing that I see a hell of a lot is, before we even go into the whole mechanics of manifesting and what it is and what it isn't, people will go, okay, I've been manifesting and, oh, look what I've manifested, and look at all the wonderful stuff that I've done. And then something bad happens, or something uncomfortable, or something stressy, or whatever. And suddenly people are going, why is this happening? How did this happen? And I'm like, hello, you can't take credit for all the good stuff. And when the bad stuff comes, oh, that wasn't me.
Yeah, but sometimes the bad stuff has to be there so that you know that what you don't want, so you get to know what you do want as well.
Well, the thing is, like, there's so many layers to all of this, right? So the outside world exists to show the inside world's problems. So nothing on the outside can hurt you, can frustrate you, can irritate you, can worry you if you don't have the wound inside for that to happen. So the outside is always showing you what you need to change and look at and pay attention to on the inside. So that is what that is showing you. But it's also showing you when something that you are trying, because you are always manifesting, so you never try to manifest something. If it's not working out, the outside is showing you why. Yeah. And you should be looking on the outside and not say, oh, this is not working for me. You should be looking on the outside and going, oh, I need to shift. I need to change. I need to adjust that and, make all those things come in alignment.
But I think where it goes wrong is that I think naturally from growing up, you tend to look at what's happened and put your focus there rather than what you want. And I know for me as a business consultant, one of the hardest things when I start working with someone is getting them to tell me what they want. What they want in their business, what they want in their personal life. They can quite easily tell me what they don't want, but then they can't flip that to what they do want. It's as if I think it's a thing from growing up where, you shouldn't want too much and you shouldn't, you should be thankful for what you've got. Where to me, no, you can have whatever you want. You just need to get clear on it. Yeah. But as I say, and we'll go down a conversation, then all of a sudden they're back to, but there's no money in the bank, and I've got and the team have done this, and I'm like, no, but what do you want your team to look like? What do you want them to be like?
But it's twofold, and the one is, what have I been conditioned, how I've grown up to think and believe of what is possible from me, of like who I am, and therefore the story that I've got about myself, which creates an image of me, believes that I can only achieve X. So there's that level. The other level, though, is we are built to survive. So we are very, very in tune unconsciously for anything that's dangerous. And therefore, your unconscious mind is always looking for safety. Now, if you're going into the unknown, into something new, something that you haven't experienced, you don't recognize, you haven't trained, or whatever, because when we're looking in the future and something new, we're not looking to repeat what we've done. We're looking for something new. Your unconscious is going, but we don't know if we can do that. I don't know if I'm safe. I don't know if that will be okay. What if it isn't? Let's rather do what we know.
Yes.
So
totally.
Even if it's a struggle, or even if it's uncomfortable, if I know I can survive that, the unconscious mind goes, I'd rather go there than go into something where I can't predict, because it always wants to predict how things are going to be.
Yeah. But the thing is that your unconscious mind as well just goes with whatever. It doesn't really know whether it's real or not.
No.
So
it's got no moral compass.
Telling it a new story,
yeah,
it doesn't really know. It just goes down that route.
It's got no moral compass. A lot of people go, but it's wrong. Well, the unconscious doesn't understand wrong. It doesn't understand this is right, this is wrong, or this is good, this is bad. What it understands and what it looks for is repetition. So what I repeat, it goes, oh, if you repeat this, it must be important. So therefore, I'll make it more easily accessible to you.
Yeah.
And therefore, if you are being constantly miserable, or constantly frustrated, or constantly worried, because you worry, whether you're going to be able to carry on with your business, or pay your staff, or whatever. So you worry. The unconscious is going, oh, worry must be important. I'll make it easily accessible to you.
Yeah, we'll give you a little bit more. Yeah. But to say worrying, I always say it's just totally wasted energy. It has no outcome on the.
If anything, it does the opposite. So again, I do a lot of talks and work on stress and resilience, even though it's part of what I do. But I do it because so many people go through that. Now, what they don't realize, that when your body's in high stress, is what in the brainwaves. So this is like your biology. It's got nothing to do with your idea of yourself or who you believe you are. It's got nothing to do with that. It's just got to do what's going on in the brain. So if we opened you up and we looked at your brain waves, we'd be seeing that you're running on high beta. High beta is telling the brain, I'm in danger. I mean, like, there's tigers coming, or there's a mammoth or whatever it is, and it's chasing me. So therefore, it has to put the body into a high alert kind of position to be able to either fight, flight, or freeze.
Yeah.
So if we look again at the brain, and I'm just trying to make it very simple, we have two nervous systems. The one is called the fight and flight, which everybody recognizes, and the other one is the rest and digest.
Yes.
If we're fight and flighting because we're in stress, and a lot of people now will be 70% of their daily life in that mode, and it feels normal.
Yes.
So they don't recognize that this is not normal for the body, and I'm actually doing damage. So all they're doing is they're learning how to survive this. What tools, what skills? So always ask me, what can I do to cope with my stress? And I'm going, I can give you tools like breathing, meditation. We could do all sorts of things, but you're constantly managing. And the minute your mind and your eyes are off it, you go back there again because you haven't solved the reason you're stressed. So what happens when you're in high stress and you're in high, surviving, you're not resting and digesting, which means you sleep, but you don't rest. So you wake up tired. While you're sleeping, you're supposed to heal. You're not healing because you're not resting, because you're alert, even though your eyes are closed. You're not digesting, even though you're eating and it's going through your body. You're not digesting, which means your body's not taking out of the digestion all the minerals and the things that it wants. So therefore it can't repair, and ultimately your body starts to break down, which is where the disease is. So what's all this got to do with manifesting?
Yeah. The thing is, a great book is The Biology of Belief.
Oh,
with,
God. One of my
Bruce
favorite.
Lipton. Yeah. I mean, I've been to an event with him, and I mean, it's just fascinating. And, you know, it does prove that you can heal yourself, but you can also create disease in your body as well. And like, obviously we're all made up of cells, and it's what, and how those cells are performing, and what they're getting told as to how your body overall
what's the environment
reacts. But anybody who hasn't read that book, it's just a great book. There's a lot on YouTube, isn't there, like Bruce Lipton's done as well. Fantastic work. And there's all sorts of different things that, you know, where they have had someone who again, it's like belief, isn't it? You know, I think where it goes wrong as well, because someone want something but then don't believe that they can have it. Now you're never going to get that. But then there's something really good in Biology of Belief, where they had some test cases of people who needed knee operations. And what they did was with some people actually did the operation. With other people, they just cut them open and close them up again. All of them healed.
Yeah.
It's just fascinating that could happen. But that's because they believed, that had an operation, believed it was going to get better.
So what happens with belief, it generates an emotion. All kind of thinking generates emotions. And the emotions have got frequency. So it's not about, it's a good belief or a bad belief. It's like, what's the level of the frequency? And because we are energy beings, we respond to frequency, and we're either drawing frequency in or energy in because we are depleted, or we're giving it out because we have got an abundance of it. So if you look, I can't remember the author, but anyway, you can go and look at the different frequencies that every emotion has. And if you look at things like shame and guilt, they are like 30.
Is that not in Abraham Hicks?
As well,
there's 22 there, isn't it? Where you're moving up a scale of.
But they don't mention about what's the frequency of each one. Whereas this particular reference actually gives you the frequency of each one. It's going to come to me. Because I could
light bulb moment at the end.
I can actually see the numbers. So, for instance, if you look at things like shame and guilt, they're really low down frequencies. That are about 30. If you look at the Earth's vibration, that's 528. So if you're 30 and then there's 528, you can see already the discrepancy. And this is why, and this is, again, people think it's woo-woo. When you walk barefoot in nature, when you go into forests and you go and spend 2-3 days there, if you meditate in forests, if you are in nature and you're touching the earth, because the earth has that 528 frequency,
it brings the energy up.
And that's why you feel good. Because if you're running in a shameful guilt kind of place where you're 30, your frequency is really, really down, and it takes a hell of a lot of work to get it up. Getting angry is better than not, because anger is just over 100. I think it's 120 if I remember. So you're already coming up. And you know, for instance, if you look at frequency healing and things like that, I know that 174 kills parasites in your body. So if you listen to frequency, or if you put yourself into frequency space, that will do that. So everything has to do with frequency. And what people don't understand, which is very relevant to manifesting, is how you think, which is part of who you are, will bring out a certain frequency, and then the universe matches that vibration, and that's what it attracts. So it's not about, I'm not getting it, I'm not doing it right. It's your frequency isn't right. So, you know, we talked about this a little bit before we started, that your personality creates your personal reality, which is a very famous Dr. Joe quote. people don't understand what he says, and what I see, and I know you see it as well, is that people try and create a different business, a different life, a different relationship, a different something as the person they are now, which has a certain level of frequency, which is attracting the life that they've got. And they don't seem to understand that they need to shift.
But people are so critical of themselves. People tell themselves awful stories that they would not say to someone else, that, oh, I'm fat, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty,
I'm too old, I'm too young.
All these things that you would never say to anybody else. And if someone else said, you'd be like saying, no, you're not, you're beautiful, but the stories that you tell yourself are just crazy.
It's all to do with the relationship that you have with yourself, because anything, all of your life and all of your suffering is relationships. Relationships with you, and then that relationships with your loved ones, and then your friends, and then so your relationship with yourself is based on a story that you make up about who you are, and that story creates the image. And what hurts you, it's when somebody attacks the image.
But it's those first early years, isn't it, where you are, well, I think even from when you're in the womb, you are like, you're so susceptible to suggestion. And, you can see it through generations, can't you, where, someone will be fearful of dogs because one of their parents has been, kind of thing.
I had a client that was big spider phobia, which everybody goes, oh, well, there's a lot of people that are scared of spiders. But I said to her, who else in your family is scared of spiders? And she says, my grandmother. And I said, oh, that's interesting. And I said, did your grandmother ever look after you? She goes, oh, yeah, until I was 3 because my mother was working. So there we go.
Yeah,
that's where it comes from, because phobias don't have any logic. But what you're describing is something that it's probably the thing that I work the most with any of my clients. And I call it the identity split. So here's what happens. First of all, let's burst this bubble. Nobody survives childhood. I don't care how great your parents were or not, or in the middle, or abusive or not abusive, because a lot of people go, well, my parents never abused me, or my parents never smacked me, or my parents never this, so, my childhood was great. No, nobody survives it, really and truly, and it's created that way for the reasons of you're born. So what is happening now? You as a child, especially if you're like 2, 3, 4 years old, right? Very suggestible, brain waves of theta, which means everything is coming in. I don't have experience and I don't have knowledge. So therefore, what I'm witnessing, observing, so I could be experiencing something or I could be observing something. So I can observe my parents having a discussion about a woman dressed provocatively and how bad that is. So they haven't said that I've dressed bad or that my mom's dressing bad, but they're just having this discussion. And I want approval from my parents. So here's what happens. Because when my parent criticizes me or puts some conditions, whether I'm witnessing the condition or it's coming directly at me, I don't feel safe, because suddenly I feel vulnerable. I feel like if I don't behave or something, my parents are going to shout at me, they're going to ignore me, they're going to abandon me, they're going to hit me. There's going to be something that's going to happen. If I'm now to believe that my parent is flawed, then I live every single day with high anxiety. And I can't survive that way, and I can't learn. Because remember that when we are in high stress, we can't learn, we can't create, we can't problem solve, and our bodies break down. Because the survival mode is constantly there.
Yeah.
Children can't do that because they have to, their bodies are changing and they have so much to learn and all that. So they have to find a way of getting past that idea that my parent is flawed. Oh, I know what it is. I'm flawed. It's not my parent. Yeah. I'm the one. If I do better at school, if I don't make a noise, if I become Miss Perfect, if I become the fisherman with my dad, whatever, then my parents are free to approve and to love me and to praise me. If I don't do those things, then they won't, which means then I'm bad. So I adapt my personality to fit the approval and the acceptance of my parents.
Yeah.
And it could be something as so subtle that your parents just are humans, adults that are living and, maybe fighting for their business or working or whatever they're doing. They're preoccupied with adult life and responsibilities. And I bring an A home and my mom goes, oh my goodness, that's amazing. Well done, darling. And then, we show grandma and the aunties and I get all this hoo-ha about my A, but when I bring a C, I don't get much. Oh, that's nice, darling. I can feel that it's okay. It's
yeah.
And in that moment, I adapt because I realize unconsciously that that's the only way that I can keep my mom loving me, because if she loves me and she cares for me, then I'm safe. Because she'll feed me and she'll take care of me and she'll dress me and she'll clean me and, and all that. So now I carry on my growing as an adapted person. I'm no longer me. I'm now the person that I've become to survive.
But it works the other way as well, doesn't it? Because I always think we do things, and I watched something about this where, kids create because if a child creates, they get attention.
Well, they have to.
And then when they're good, they don't get attention.
But this is what I'm saying is that they create an adapted part of themselves. The biggest problem is once they've grown up, they don't remember that when I was 4, something happened, or when I was 3, or maybe it happened slowly, and I'm no longer me. So now my life is not working. And I don't know why. I've done everything. I've done hypnotherapy and coaching, blah, 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 blah. Because what I'm actually trying to fix is the adapted self, which is not really who I am. And you and I have had these kind of talks where if I say to somebody, so tell me who you are, they'll tell me labels, they'll tell me roles, like I'm a mother, or I'm a teacher, or I'm a businesswoman, I'm a wife, but none of that is really who you really, really are. That just tells me how you identify yourself in this time, in this life, right now. But it doesn't tell me who you are. But when I ask people about tell me who you are, in much the same way, it's like, I don't know what I want, I don't know who I am.
Yeah.
So where are we manifesting on that space? What I'm saying to the universe, because it's again all energy, is like, I don't know. So I hope for the best. And just give me something good. And that's why I believe a lot, or not I, but people will believe a lot in good luck and bad luck, because they're not in charge.
Yeah, there's still a lot of people. It's been medically proven and scientifically proven and everything that we are all energy, and everything's energy.
There's no question about it.
But there's still a lot
anymore.
of people who are just like, no, life just happens and things.
But if you think about it, the one thing that separates us from the rest of the animal kingdom is our ability to create past survival. So most animals, they'll do whatever they need to do to survive. And once they're safe, then they go back into unconscious. We go way past. So, we've got all this technology and all,
Yeah. We
don't really need that to survive. The caves were fine. If you know what I'm saying.
Animals don't have the capability to create.
No.
They have the capability to survive and have the
and that
normal
has to
functions.
do with the frontal lobe. So they've looked at this in science and they go, okay, so if you look at the brain, the crowning glory of us as humans is that the frontal lobe is now about 47% of the capacity of the brain, whereas in comparison to other animals, chickens apparently are 3%. and cats are about 7 and dogs are about 13. Okay, so we are magnificent. Who here can tell me that when I went to school and I was 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, 15 years old, they taught me to think about my thinking. They taught me who I am. They gave me lessons on how I can get in touch. Nobody. So now we say, well, people don't believe it because people haven't been taught that. And
it's the most fundamental thing, really.
But, how do you control the masses?
Yeah.
Fear.
Yeah.
So take away knowledge about how powerful they are and give them fear about what might happen if they don't comply and live by the rules that those people, that part, and then they can do what they want. And it's down to you and me and each individual to go, no, I'm in control of my life. I'm the creator. I'm the power.
Yeah.
And to take that back.
Yeah. I mean, I have like so many, I just think about things that I want and I really, really focus. And then it just happens. Not instantaneously, but like
sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes. But again, I always believe it happens in the right way. But always. when you I mean, I don't get stressed about anything now. I always think that, it's not going to help. I just need to focus on what I want, and then it'll all shift around, and it just naturally does. But it takes. I mean, I've been doing this for years and years. It does, but it does work. Then
it always works. It only works. The thing is that I think, again, because of the unconscious safety element that we want to be safe, we haven't learned how to trust ourselves. And, I've done, again, a lot of leadership, resilience kind of training. And when I speak to the class and I say, have you all experienced something that in your mind was quite horrific? It was like a big adversity. Maybe a lot of people in this classroom, they don't know about this. They don't know this about you. But inside, that, oh, my God, I've gone through this, or I've gone through this, or I experienced this. And it was quite bad. And everybody goes, yes. I said, so we're not going to put it on the table and, compare, which one was bigger and which one. That is not what the point is. I said, but you survived that. Do you give yourself the credit? Do you realize how powerful you are? Because when you can do that, then you know that no matter what happens in this world, I'll be okay. Which means that you can trust the process of life. And therefore, you can be free to think about who you want to be and with the life that you want, trusting that everything just unfolds perfectly in the right time, in the right space, for who you are right now. And that's why, if the outside isn't showing what you desire on the inside, you need to still do some changing in here. And that's okay.
But there is a lot where, I mean, it's been proven, hasn't it? They tried once over just to have like happy news and things, and a newspaper once where like it was just happy things, and no one bought it. People like to have drama in their lives and things. It's like,
and then that comes down, and again, it's about knowing yourself, and then when you're picking it up, because your unconscious is always trying. It's your ego is always trying to keep you safe. It will always look for where's the danger. It doesn't want to go, oh, it's all right, it's fine, don't worry, I don't look. It's always going, where's the danger, where's the danger? And if you can say to yourself, hey, I'm aware that you're having this feeling, and I'm here to tell you that I'm the boss. Whatever happens, I'll survive, I'll be okay, I trust the process, and you don't have to do this. You can be free of the job. I'm taking my job back of looking after me. But most of us don't do that.
It happens all the time though, doesn't it, where someone really, really like they are, I think a lot of people, like I just said, like love to be involved in drama. They love the drama in the staff room at work and everything like that, and if everyone's just happy and nice, they'll naturally go and create something to mess it all up.
We all know those people.
Yeah. But that's again, you know, does that stem from childhood? That's when you get attention, or
yeah. So let's look at it in layers. So the first thing is, like we said, that every emotion has a chemical, has a vibrational energy, but it's also a chemical. Because if you're having a thought and the meaning that you've attached to that thought is that this is miserable, or this is sad, or this is anxious, how does the body know? Because we feel the emotions in our bodies. We feel anxiety, we feel anger, we feel sadness. We don't think it. I'm not going, oh God, I'm really thinking I'm angry. It's now feeling it kind of thing, which means that there has to be a chemical that the brain produces as an equivalent to the thought and the meaning that tells every cell and every organ, this is how to feel. This is how you should behave. And again, the body's not going, no, I don't think today I want to feel that. No, that's the recipe that we've created. And what most people that I speak to don't understand is that as much as it's easy to get addicted to things like drugs and alcohol and cigarettes and all that kind of stuff, we get addicted to the chemicals of the emotions. So we're all addicts. Yeah. And that's fine. But now, if you are addicted to misery and you have decided, I'm no longer going to be miserable, your body's going to go, excuse me? I need my fix. You've got to think about something. Come on. Go and speak to Mary. Mary always has some drama. Go and speak to her. You'll get the drama. You'll both feel miserable. I'll get my fix and I'll be fine. Yeah. So there's that. So then we have to ask ourselves the question, what is it in me that feeds this addiction? What is it that I get out of So yes, the one is that relief of, I don't feel this tension anymore because I've been miserable, or I got angry, or I got anxious. And then I ask myself, what has to be true in my belief system for me to need this addiction? And that comes from your childhood beliefs. That yes, I get my recognition, I get my significance, I get my attention, I get my worthiness, I get my validation, and all that kind of stuff.
I think we need to touch on, because obviously a lot of people listening to this are in business. Yeah. The way it works in business is that, so many people have money hang-ups. And that's again from when you've been brought up and seeing hardship and your parents saying, well, you can't have that, all these kinds of things, rather than like saying you can have anything. But it has a huge impact, doesn't it? I mean, in business, everyone starts with one client,
yes,
one dream, and then, one business will go on and maybe thrive, or another will fold, or one will go on and make millions.
Yeah.
Same mind, same, but just how someone's using their mind, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, if you look at it from, I'm hearing it a lot at the moment where, the government has changed the taxes and this is happening. So a lot of people are blaming governments, tax systems, economy. Okay. But here's the truth. And when I say this, people go, yeah, that's true. In every type of economy, people make money. Yeah. And every type of economy, people go bust.
Yeah.
Which means then the economy and the government and the taxes are not the reason for people making money or people going bust. Something else is playing here. And it has to do with mindset. And, there's an exercise that I do sometimes, and I do it with my members in my membership group, or I do it with my clients. And we talk about, if money was a person, who are they in your life? When they come into your house, do you go, yay, it's so nice to see you again, please don't go. You leave you don't stay long enough. Can you just kind of move in with me? What is the relationship? Do you kind of hate them? Are you scared of them? Do you feel anxious around them? Because it's interesting when people put a persona on money, how money then starts to take the form, and then you realize, but that's why it stays, or that's why it goes. And, because this is how I treat it. And because of everything being frequency, money's frequency.
Yeah, money's just energy.
Yeah. And if you think about it, and a lot of people do say that, is that nobody's actually hoping and wishing to get a whole lot of pieces of paper. Because that's what really it is, and coins. And today it's just your plastic card or whatever. It's what is it that money gives you that you don't already have, or you think you don't have. And it's an interesting thing, because you kind of go, well, it'll give me the extra blouse. So what will an extra blouse give you in a wardrobe of 30 blouses? What will an extra one give you that you don't already have? Well, when I wear the blouse, it'll be new. It'll make me feel blah, blah, blah. It will make me feel, so it's a feeling. Okay. So what is that feeling? And does it only come through when you go and spend money to buy a new blouse? Or can you get that feeling anyway? Which is the whole trick to manifesting.
Yeah.
A lot of people go, when I have, I will feel. When I get, I will be. When I achieve or when I accomplish, then I can. It's all conditions. We're putting conditions to how we live. Like I'll be happy then.
Yeah.
I'll be peaceful then. I'll be relaxed then. I'll be thin then. No, none of that. You've got to be those. You've got to be that personality to attract that lifestyle.
I think it still goes back to belief, though, doesn't it? Everything goes back to belief, because, you can have super, super wealthy people who, you can have one person who is so happy and grateful and thankful, but then you see millionaires who are
miserable,
really miserable.
Yeah.
So it just falls straight back into belief, isn't it? They believe that they're going to have all this money. I think, love my loathe, Trump is a great, he's his book. I mean, really, he's just like all the way, like sort of thought, right, yeah, I'm going to have that. Yeah, I'm going to have that. And
there's
just
no question in his mind.
No, it's just pure belief. I can have that.
Yeah, it's almost like it's a fact.
And so many other people.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, we need to start separating money with happiness or well-being or health, because people go, oh, rich people, I hear this, oh, they are rich and they've got all the money, but they're not happy and they're ill. But that's not because they've got money. But,
so it's back to that belief system.
Yeah. So again, what people do in their brains is that they connect money with whatever's not working with them. So I don't want to be rich because rich people are miserable. Rich people are rubbish people. They're bad people.
But again, that's all from conditioning when you were brought up.
And also, what has money got to do with a person being good or bad? Yeah. Because you get good and bad rich people, good and bad poor people. You get happy rich people and happy poor people. You get miserable rich, so...
Yeah.
But it's interesting. So again, when it comes to manifesting, you have to ask yourself, where are the conditions? Because the conditions then it's basically putting blocks in. But again, the universe doesn't understand conditions. It doesn't understand like only when, it doesn't understand that. It just understands the frequency that you are pushing out. So if you are waiting to be, then the frequency that you're pushing out is one of I'm not yet. And therefore, if I'm not yet, then I'm available for this.
Yeah.
But I'm not available for the stuff that I want, because that is waiting to happen when I become, which unconsciously we already say that.
Yeah.
So why wait? Just be. And then let that stuff come. Whereas what we're doing is we're saying when it comes, then I'll be.
But again, I think as well, we taught not to daydream, aren't we? Like, it's sort of like, oh, you're daydreaming again and everything. Well, really, like, that's, to me, I love. And I think that's why, when you go on holiday, when you have time away, when you have time to yourself, that's when all the great ideas come, because you've got time to clear your mind and just to, like, think about what you do want.
But also think about the logic in what you've just said. So earlier on, we talked about the stress, and I said that when you're in high stress, that feels normal, doesn't feel comfortable, but feels normal. So we like normalize it and we do nothing about it. When you're in high stress, you're not creative. You're not problem solving. You're not visualizing. You're not dreaming, because you are looking to see where's the tiger, where's my danger. So when we go on holiday, we go, we start to move down from the high beta to the low, middle beta, lower, down to alpha. Oh, now we can relax. Now we can be out of the stress. Now we can open up. Now we can have, because when we're in high stress, our brain is not coherent. Everything's firing off, out of balance, out of sync. If your brain is out of coherence, it's not connected to your heart. If these heart and brain are out of coherence, you don't manifest. Well, you do manifest. You manifest chaos. But you don't manifest, you because you can't open up and dream.
Yeah.
And therefore you can't raise your energy and attract and be that person that is up here.
Yeah. I know. Since obviously most of the time now we're over in Mallorca, and since we've done that and been over there, I get so much more work done, and it's so much more productive. And and like you say about nature, it's like it just feels like a totally different. Yeah. But again, though, I mean, that's, we went, was it last year? You and I went away for a weekend. Was it last year? Or was it the year before? I can't remember. We went away, just you and I, and because we're always doing these kind of things, just like looking at creating what we wanted and everything. And and I was like saying to you, I want to have somewhere right on a waterfront. I want to have steps into the sea, and blah, blah, and
all of it.
Yeah.
All of it you got.
Yeah. But the thing is, and I haven't even told you this, but obviously the first place that we looked at, I thought, oh, that's it. But it wasn't everything that I wanted. And then all of a sudden there was like things in the lease that weren't right and everything. And that went. And then I don't know what made me, it was just an inspiring thing about midnight one night. I was in bed. I don't know why. I suddenly decided to go on my phone and search. And the first place that came up was our perfect place. And bizarrely, now obviously we've sold our home here and we are looking for a base here. And I said, I want a farmhouse, with horses out the back field and everything. We found a place which was nearly perfect again, but there was a few things I thought, well, it's not 100% perfect. And then obviously we hadn't sold our house then, so it was too early. And we didn't get that. Now tomorrow we're going to have a look at something that's come out just totally out of the blue, which is absolutely perfect. And you just think it's as if, you can have whatever you want, but you think, do I settle for something else? But then it just, I just love manifest.
I know, and this is where you have to practice patience.
Yeah,
because
it's in the right time and right
as because that happened to me in Greece when we first got there, and we started looking. I said, right, I want a house that is walking distance to the beach, and that it has obviously 3 bedrooms, and it's got 2 lounges. So I can use the one lounge as my office / training room, and the other lounge will be ours. And I was saying, and I'm so grateful because this lounge has got a fireplace and it's nice and cozy, and it's got huge big balconies so we can sit outside on the veranda and have our food because it's so hot, and we've got a nice big kitchen, and and I was blah 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 blah, and we find a flat. And like you say, it kind of ticked most of the boxes, but it didn't have the best views. It definitely was not a walking distance to the beach, and it didn't have an ensuite because I thought the girls can have these, I want mine. So this was on the Wednesday, but I did a verbal agreement because we needed to find a flat and all that. Yeah. And I didn't have my tax number yet. So I said, okay, look, I've got to go and sort out my tax number, and then I'll come and sign the contract. So we hadn't signed. On the Friday, we started a hypnotherapy course, and my one friend calls me up and goes, I found your flat. And I said, well, you're a vet. How are you finding me a flat? And she goes, no, one of my close friends is a estate agent.
It's amazing, isn't it? The similar kind of things happen to us.
And I said, but I've got a flat. I found one, and I've already agreed. She goes, no, this is your flat. Okay, so then on the Sunday, so she made arrangements with my friend and where we're going to go. So on Sunday, they just took me there. I had no idea where this place was, what it was. I knew nothing about it. Now, just to go one step back, every day I would go to a certain spot on the beach where I would be going, universe, this is what I want, and blah, 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 and I'm so grateful for this, and so great. Oh, and I'm so grateful for this flat that is walking distance to the beach, and all this kind of stuff. So we go there on the Sunday, and it is literally 2 blocks away, 2 blocks on a main road away from the beach. And I'm like, oh, I go there every morning, and then I go walk around and run and swim. Yeah. So as we walk in, it's like a complex. There's a swimming pool, and I go, oh, it's got a swimming pool. I don't have a swimming pool in my list. My daughter goes, I did. So I went, oh, okay. We go in there. It's like, we lived there for 3.5 years. Yeah. And it was walking distance to the beach. It had the big lounges. It had the fireplace. It had the big balconies. It had everything.
Yeah. But I think it's very easy to think, oh, yeah, I would love to have this, but And then people then put a block in and like go,
I probably can't. I don't deserve it.
Yeah. And it's always like, oh, I'd love to have that, but.
Yeah,
You've just got to get rid of the but and just think, I want to have that.
And the but has got some level of deserving and enoughness. I'm either not good enough, or I don't deserve it, or, this doesn't happen for me because I'm not good enough and I don't deserve it. It all comes down to that.
Again, but it's just a crazy story you're telling yourself.
Well, if you think about it, who in this whole universe, God, Goddess, and all that is, whatever, is judging your level of deserving to say, yes, you can have this? Who is it?
Yeah.
And what are they basing it on? So are they like overseeing 8 billion people on this planet and going, right, Susan, you've been really good. I've been watching you. I like your attitude. You can have your house by the beach with a step. You, Peter, I don't know. You don't believe in yourself, so no, I'm going to keep you in the hut. There's nobody. It's the story. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm saying that, even in the relationship with yourself, it's all about the story that you tell yourself about who you are. And, here's the spooky stuff. And this, again, science has now shown that the past is created in the present.
Say that again.
The past
is
created.
Yeah.
Because right now, if I asked you about what happened, you're gonna, and what they've come to understand, and I've proved this so many times with my clients, it's actually hilarious that we make up the past as in the present we make up parts of the past. To the point that up to 50%, sometimes more, of what we think happened never did, which means we make ourselves miserable by the rubbish that we've made up that never actually happened.
Yeah. But you could have 5 people observe something, and like each one will have a different story of how it is. And then they'll tell someone else and they'll add a little bit in. And
also, if we tell somebody a story, so there's a lovely story of my stepson. He was with my mother-in-law and they were walking over the bridge and they saw a rat. So that night he went to my father and he said, Grandpa, we saw this big rat. And he didn't pay much attention. He went, and he says, and it had a gun. I mean, he was only about 4. But you could see that at that stage.
Because he hadn't got the reaction.
Yeah. But we do this all the time. And this is how we change what we think happened in our perception. Because if I tell a story and nothing happened, then I'm going to be a little bit more animated. I might exaggerate a little bit what the other parties did. And slowly, the story changes. And you see this so much when family talk about, do you remember when in, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, we went to that tree and that's not what happened. And then they have different stories. And you think, well, they both experienced the same thing. How could they? Yeah.
But that we've just been talking about, it's always a past story. So you've got like that forward, like, for me, like, you want this, and then it's like the past story is the but, and it just blocks it. It's crazy. And you can't do anything about the past. We can't even do anything about what apart from we could edit it out, obviously, but, you can't do anything about, what you've said in a conversation. And people like beat themselves up about what they've said. Yes, you can look to put something forward into place to change it, but people dwell on like what's happened in the past but all also, the time.
And if you think about it, it's not even what happened as in, here are the facts. There was a red truck and there was a blue house and it drove at 30 miles. That's a fact. That could have been, right? It's our interpretation of it, it's our opinion of it. So that but that belongs in the past is an opinion that we have.
Yeah, but then every thought is creating
but we make
your future.
And somebody said to me years ago, when faith becomes fact, it becomes dangerous. So you have faith that what I believe happened and is true, so now it becomes a fact that I'm an idiot or I'm incapable or I don't deserve it or I'm not good enough, because I have faith that what I'm thinking is real because I won't lie to myself. Hello. We lie to ourselves all the time. And therefore I make that into a fact, and that fact becomes dangerous because it rules your life. It says, okay, from now on, this fact will determine how you're going to live. This is why you can do this, and this is why you can't do this.
Yeah.
But none of it's true.
Yeah.
None of it's true. And today's the only thing that's real. I mean, this is where Eckhart Tolle's work comes in. The present, the power of now.
Brilliant.
You know, that this is the only place, this is where I can touch and feel and hold, is the only place that's real. So in this moment, this is the only thing that's real. The only thing that's real is that you and I are talking, and we've got Ryan over there looking at us.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's real. Everything else in our world, your world, my clients, my family, we hope that they're all still there, but for all we know, something happened.
Yeah.
You know, somebody pushed a red button somewhere and half the world's disappeared. And we're sitting here having this nice chat. We don't know. This is the only thing that's real in this moment.
So what are some key things if someone has a tendency that they are putting that but in, like, I want this, but I want this, but what can they do?
Right. So we lots of things, but just off the top of the cuff, without any sort of therapy or work or coaching or whatever.
Stop it.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Go look at stop it.
Yeah, just don't say it.
Yes, just stop it. Right. Listen to this and at least get curious as, is this true? And what does it mean? If it's true, it means that I can never, ever have this. Then why are you still trying to get it? If this is absolute truth, that you can't have something, then why are you still trying to get it?
Because if you don't believe it, you're not going to get it anyway.
So the fact that you're fighting for it tells me that the only thing that stops you from getting it is not that you can't have it, is that you think you can't. So take that thinking and ask yourself, okay, so what would I do? How would I be? How would I feel? How would I behave if I didn't have this thought? What would I be doing differently? And sometimes we go into that space because we are so trained in our thinking to protect ourselves that we haven't taught ourselves to go, okay, well, now you can have anything. What do you want? And this is why people go, I don't know. Because they haven't ever allowed themselves. They're constantly fighting the tigers, and they're not sitting on the beach with the coconut drink going, I want a house by the beach, steps to the sea. Yeah. And I can have it.
Yeah.
So it's to start allowing yourself to be that person. Now, the other thing that we touched on, it's got to do with frequency and energy, all of it. It doesn't matter what you do. So every emotion has its own frequency and energy. So then you have to ask yourself, okay, how do I raise my vibrational energy so that I can start attracting the dream and the things that I want? And the easiest for me, because I can say to somebody, well, stop being miserable, start being happy. Yeah, easier said than done. Okay. Be grateful, because gratitude has got one of the highest vibrational frequencies, it's highest energy. So I have had people go, well, my life is so bad. I've got nothing to be grateful for. And I said, are you grateful that you woke up? And they go, no. Because my life's so bad, I'd rather not wake up. And I think, okay, but you have woken up, which means that there's a part of you that believes in something greater. It reminds me, there's a story that Ram Dass talks about. A woman phones him at 3:00 in the morning, and she is ranting and raving, and she's going to kill herself, and she's had enough of this world, and blah, blah, blah. And she just wanted him to know. So he goes, so at 3 a.m, this is the days of telephones and no mobiles, you managed to find my number and call me to let me know that you're going to end your life because you can't take this anymore. And she went, yes. He says, well, I want to talk to the part of you that found the number and called me.
Yeah.
So if you've woken up, there's a bigger picture that your soul is going, please awaken from this sleep. You're powerful, you're wonderful, you're such a creator, and you can have it all. See yourself, understand yourself, know yourself. You've woken up, be grateful. You've got a bed that you slept in. Are you grateful for at least you sleeping on the bed? You didn't sleep on a cement slab or out on, sticks and stones.
We take so much for granted, don't we?
We do. There's a book that I read that a woman says to just start repeating the word thank you. And I was driving to the Netherlands
every time when you're walking to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So I thought, okay, I'm driving. I'm going to do thank you. So I go, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. In about 2-3 minutes of just going, thank you, I started to notice that my brain, my unconscious was going, what are you thankful for about? Well, why are you saying thank you? So I said, well, I'm thankful that I've got a car that drives really well and I can go and see my mom. I'm really thankful for that. And I'm thankful that I'm actually, healthy enough to drive this car. I'm thankful that I had the opportunity to learn how to drive. And I've got a driver's license, I can drive, and I've got the car, and I've got the petrol to pay. I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful that there's a boat that took me across from England to the Netherlands. I'm really thankful for that. And I'm thankful that somebody built this road so that I can drive it and I'm not like on a dirt road with a donkey or something. And I started to feel so overwhelmed with gratitude because suddenly life was just so beautiful that I was like crying, and I'm driving and I'm like, oh, I've got to stop this thank you stuff because I can't see. But it fascinates me because the thing that happened in Greece with the flat, and that wasn't that was only the tip of the iceberg. There was all sorts of other things.
It always is, isn't it?
But it started off with me going there and looking at that vista, that view was just, and it was nature, and it was the sea, and I'm attached to the sea. And I was going, I'm so grateful to be here. I'm so grateful that every morning I have the access and the ability to come here and see this.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that I can smell it and I can feel it and I can walk, and I'm so grateful that I live here, and I'm so grateful I have this flat, and I'm so so I would be rambling, and I did it for 2.5 months and nothing happened. But every day I was there. In the beginning, I think there was a part of my brain that was going, yeah, right, you don't have a flat. Yes, but I'm so grateful that I've got this beautiful flat, but you don't have a flat. But I'm so grateful that I have this flat. I'm so grateful that I'm driving this car, that I've got this client, that my girls are in this school. And it all happened.
Yeah.
2.5 months.
Yeah.
I kept going there, and I just thought, you know what? I don't care. I don't care what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
I think we're coming to the end of this, but I think if someone, the one thing, I think we've ended on something really, really poignant, because gratitude it just changes everything. Every morning I write gratitudes, and it's like the crazy things, you can get down to our bodies are just so clever, we can speak, we can hear, we've got all these different things, our nails are growing all the time, we've got eyelashes, we've got fluid so our eyelids don't stick together. Our bodies are so clever. So there's to me, I just get carried away with what I'm grateful for. And then the other thing that I always do is I read somewhere that you should send love to 3 people who are bothering you every day.
Yes.
Well, the thing is, to start with, I used to think, all right, I'll send love to that person. I'll send love to that person. Now I haven't got anyone to send love to because I just don't attract people that...
But no, it's not even that you don't attract those people, it's that you start to heal the relationship with yourself. Because remember, the outside is showing you what's going on the inside. So if there's people bothering you on the outside, it's because there's something, a part of your personality is bothering you.
Yeah, you're attracting it.
So when you heal this, and when you start loving you and choosing you and honoring you, respecting you, those other people that were showing you that, go away. So
if you thought, you've listened to this and thought, this is a bit woo-woo, just try doing gratitudes every day and just write them down.
Yeah, and also
little things. Thankful for your coffee. Thank you.
Whether you buy it 100% or not, you're manifesting every second, every breath is a manifestation. So this is not happening only when you are consciously going, right, this is what I want. When you stop thinking, you're still manifesting.
The other thing as well, just be aware of the stories that you are telling yourself during the day, and have a little notebook, and just like every time you like think, oh God, I've just said something awful about myself again, or
cancel,
I'm just
cancel, cancel.
And then just like think of the opposite, because for everything on one side there's an opposite. So anything that you're thinking, like, you know, for example, say you're thinking, oh, you know, I'm fat. Well, you're not. You know, you've got a healthy body, really, really healthy body.
Yeah.
You know, and you're fit. You're walking around, and So
it's like who put out the whole thing of this is what you should look like. You look exactly like you are right now. You know, you're living the life that you want, and if you don't want that, it's okay. If you've kind of gone, okay, I'm done with this experience, I want something different. Just start dreaming and being grateful.
Yeah.
Become very clear and be grateful. You are so powerful, so magnificent.
I've loved this. Thank you, Vicky. I'm sure we'll be having another conversation in the future, because I know the ones that we've done in the past, everyone has absolutely loved them. So I would say go back and watch. If you just put in Vicky Ross onto I think we've got 3 other episodes.
Yeah.
But I know, Vicky, you've got a new website as well. Is that just, it's vickyross.com, isn't it?
Yeah.
And obviously someone can follow you on Instagram and different things, and we'll put everything in the show notes. I know you've got a retreat coming up later this year.
October.
Yeah. That's in Greece.
In Crete. In Greece, in Crete.
Yeah.
And it's
special.
It's life changing, because
I know some of our members from Beauty Directors Club went, and I think some of them booked again, actually, because it's just
and it's very small, it's very intimate, so I've only got space for 2 more. So
but details of that are on the website,
all on the website. And then of course it's always by invitation. You can't just go to the website and book your place. You've got to book a conversation with me, because if you're not the right person, or if I'm not the right person, then if we're not a match, we don't go.
But someone can book a conversation with you as well, can't they?
Yeah. On the website, whether they want to work one-on-one. I've got a fantastic membership as well, where we do a lot of the work. So if somebody's going, okay, I want to do more of this, but I don't even know where to begin, because it is a bit of a minefield, the whole personal development, spirituality, manifesting. It's like, where do I start?
Yeah.
You start with me.
Once you get into it,
come to me.
Thank you, Vicky. Absolutely awesome once again.
Thank you again for inviting me. It's been such fun. We always have such, we always need days.
Exactly. An hour's not enough.
But thank you.